Australian Artistic Swimming Team, another amazing performance. Please welcome to pool deck your two teams for tonight, your Odd Minute Aussie Stingers and Team Italy. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we gather upon today. Waterpolo Australia acknowledges the traditional owners of country, the Whadjuk Noongar people, and recognises the ongoing connection to lands, waters and communities. We pay our respects to the continuation of cultural, spiritual and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and to elders past, present and emerging. Introducing our teams tonight, the visitors Italy in the blue caps. Number 11 and captain, Anissa Kokiari. 1. Giuseppina Condorelli. 2. Marina Leone. 3. Paola Di Maria. 4. Sara Cordovani. 5. Veronica Gant. 6. Lucrezia Chergo. 7. Sofia Giustini. 8. Roberta Bianconi. 9. Daphne Bettini. 10. Chiara Renali. 12. Gaia Gagliardi. 13. Helga Santapaola. 14. Alessia Milo. And 15. Carlotta Leggiato. The coach, Carlo Salico. And in the white caps, the Odd Minute Aussie Stingers. Number 4 and captain, Bronzy Halligan. 1. Gabby Palm. 2. Hayley Ballasty. 3. Tennille Fasala. 5. Sienna Green. 6. Abby Andrews. 7. Charlize Andrews. 8. Sienna Hearn. 9. Pippa Pedley. 10. Alice Williams. 11. Tilly Kearns. 12. Danny Jakovic. 13. Genevieve Longman. 14. Alexi Lambert. And 15. Olivia Mitchell. Coached by Rebecca Rippon. Our referees tonight, Fiona Hay and Andrew Carney. If able, please be upstanding for the national anthems of Italy and Australia.
And welcome to the Perth High Performance Centre in Western Australia for this final match of this special Tri-Nation series with Australia and Italy set to undertake their final tune-up before the World Championships in Singapore. My name is Mick Collis, and joining me in commentary is former Australian captain and Paris Olympics silver medalist Zoe Arancini. And Zoe, the Italians, they finished 6th in Paris, where you did pick up that silver medal, but they won't be intimidated by the Australians tonight.
I don't think so. They've obviously got a lot of new players as well. It's kind of like the Americans do as well. So it'll be interesting what they bring. We didn't get to play them at the Olympics, but we played them beforehand in a warm-up tournament, and they were solid. I don't think they played to their best of their ability in the Olympics, but it'll be interesting to see what this new squad. They've got a mix of senior and youth coming in, so I'm kind of excited to see what they bring.
And on Friday night, they kicked off this Tri-Nations tournament with a 22-13 loss over Italy. They've had a couple of days to work on that. We're expecting an improved performance from them tonight.
I think so, yeah. They've also had the rest as well, the day off. So it'll be interesting. To be honest, I didn't watch the game on the Friday, so I'm not sure where they probably need to improve. But Italy are quite a smart team. I think they know what. I think they might have an understanding of what the Aussies will bring, especially having just played a couple of training matches against them. Interesting to see what new players that they have that will bring in, what they bring to the team.
And we just saw the Australians on the screen. Lots of smiles. There seems to be a pretty good spirit in the Stingers.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a good feeling to play in front of a home crowd, and there's a great crowd here tonight. The WA community coming out in full support for the Aussie Stingers. As I said, we don't get quality matches like these, so it's great to see such a good crowd here and a lot of young people as well.
So just the Stingers there on screen, and they just threw out some of the little novelty water polo balls just as a way of engaging with the crowd. And I noticed one of the quickest people to get up and grab it was Liz Weeks, who was the goalkeeper in the Sydney Olympics when the Australians won the gold medal. So she's stayed involved with water polo as the Australians go into their final huddle. The Italians on screen, as mentioned, a mixed bag for them. A lot of players that aren't here tonight. Some young players being brought into the team, but a great experience for them. And these years, the Olympic cycle is the main cycle, so these sorts of events and World Championships, it is a chance for coaches and nations to blood new players.
Absolutely. And we're back to now a 4-year cycle. Last cycle was only 3. So it's a perfect opportunity. It's a shame though, because next year there's no major international tournament. Usually you have a World Cup, but that's no longer. They've changed the format of World League rounds now, World League finals to a World Cup. But there's no major international tournament. But it's great to go back to a 4-year cycle, just because it allows the teams to bring in new players, early on, see what combinations they do and where they need to improve. 4 years is a very long time, but it can also fly by too.
And we just saw the Australians in their little huddle. As the captain, what sort of messages do you give to the players before you hit the water?
Well, Beck's the one that gives us the messages, so I'm sure it's just stay in control. I don't know the game plans anymore, but but I'm sure it's the stay in control, take your opportunities when you see them, and most of all, have fun.
So that's what will be the plan for the players and the fans here tonight. Again, a good crowd you can just see there on this southern side of the pool here at the Perth High Performance Centre in Western Australia. It was the venue for the 1991 World Swimming Championships, and again in 1998 the Australians picking up the bronze medal in that series. I think that's the one the Italians actually won that gold medal in 1998. The Italians, they picked up Olympic gold in 2004, a silver in Brazil in 2016, and a bronze at the World Championships in 2023. So they're used to standing on the podium at major events, and they'll be looking to try and finish this tournament on a high, as mentioned, going down 22-13 on the Friday, the first match of this tournament. Last night, the Australians up against the Americans was 8-all at full time. They went to a penalty shootout, and it was the Australians getting up by 12 goals to 11 in a tight one last night. But about to get underway here in this match, the final match of this Tri-Nations tournament. The World Swimming Champs in Singapore is the end goal, and in the blue caps of the Italians, and they will get the first bite of the cherry. Chiara Renali, it was, winning the swim up over Bronte Halligan from Australia. So the Italians with the first attempt, Bettini, Drops it across back to Bettini. Milo gets it in. So with Milo, Bettini across to Bianchini, back to Milo. Bettini keeping the ball dry, the Italians. Lots of movement, making it hard for the Australians' defence. Now it comes into centre forward. Centre Green working hard for the Australians there at centre back. Now it comes into centre forward again. The shot comes. I think it may have been Kokiari, the captain. She's lost a cap. So plenty going on in that centre forward, centre back. This is Alice Williams. Picked up 4 goals last night for the Australians. She's certainly in good touch. Said she had plenty of room for improvement when we spoke to her after the game. Halligan on to Andrews, back to Williams. And Kearns gets the shot away, but picked up inside too. But not a bad start by the Australians.
Nope, taking their opportunities. Just probably needed the pass a bit quicker there.
So Howens again through Bettini. As Gagliardi goes into centre forward. This is Milo. Back to Bettini, and she drops it onto Bianchini.
And a good feed in there by the Italians, and a quick shot.
So the first goal of the night coming to Carlotta Maggiato. Scores the first goal for the Italians. It was a 6-on-5 opportunity. They wasted no time whatsoever.
It's perfect. It's actually probably one of the perfect extra men, because you sort of want that while the defence is still setting up.
So Bronte Halligan. Now with Pippa Pedley, West Australian.
Tilly doing good work in there, earning the exclusion.
So 6-on-5 opportunity here now for the Australians. Kearns goes into centre forward. Pedley, Andrews with it now. Kearns trying to get ahead above water. Halligan to Andrews. Andrews with the shot and scores the goal to level things up.
A beautiful shot by Abby, and good work by Sienna Green there on the 3 post, pushing that defender out of the way, allowing Abby to have that line for the shot.
So Abby Andrews draws things level in this first quarter. Australia versus Italy. Nice to have your company wherever you are tuning in this evening. Italians again in possession. Bettini back to Milo. Bettini again. This is Bianconi. Now it comes into centre forward. They shut it down. Halligan comes away with it. Bronte Halligan, the daughter of Darryl Halligan, a former New Zealand Rugby League representative, played for the North Sydney Bears and the Bulldogs. He'll be happy to know the Bears are back in the NRL. They'll be actually playing here out of Perth. So the Australians. This is Andrews. Back to Charlize Andrews now. Pedley with the shot.
Probably not the best attack from the Aussies there, just slow getting the ball up. If they got it up sooner, more time to attack. We got a shot away, but we could have really utilised that time a bit better.
Giuseppina Condorelli in goals for the Italians. Dr. Bettini offloading to Bianconi. This is Bianconi sitting at the top. Has the shot too. Comes off wood. Genevieve Longman in goals for the Australians, originally from WA, now playing over for Balmain. This is Charlize Andrews. Pippa Pedley now in front of the home crowd for her.
Aussie's just probably a little bit crowded in there at the moment in front of the 2 metres.
Tilly Kearns in at centre forward. And the shot runs out, clock runs out. Roberta Bianconi working hard at centre forward on Tilly Kearns. So the Italians again, Rinaldi. Bettini with it. Drops it now into centre forward, and again Halligan comes in.
Good crash back from the Aussies there.
Gagliardi having no chance on that one. The converging defence of the Australians. This is Andrews. An exclusion. So 6-on-5 opportunity here again for the Australians.
Exclusion against the number 10, Chiara Rinaldi.
Halligan now to Green. Green with it. Andrews trying to find a gap. Halligan back to Sienna Green. Sits up, has the balk. Off the crossbar. Pedley cleans up off the wood again. So 2 missed shots by the Australians.
Kick out on Sienna Green.
So 6-on-5 opportunity here now for the Italians. As Sofia Giustini brings it up to Bettini. Milo. Giustini. And I think that may have just snuck across the line.
Yeah, not a great shot, but the goal, she saw a space there, defender's not blocking, and just done enough to put it through. Goalkeeper really relying on that blocker there.
So Giustini with the shot. A ball only just snuck across, and it needs to go across for a second. That's it. Certainly goal will count. So 2-1, Italy leading the Australians. Andrews under pressure from Milo. But she'll take a break, an exclusion. And Andrews makes her pay. Abby Andrews picks up a second.
Again, that's a perfect finish by Abby and really taking it on, staying high on her legs and top corner finish.
So Bettini. Giustini. Scored one already this afternoon. This is Leone. Giustini. Back to Bettini. Giustini at the top. Now it tries to come into centre. Leone it is in there. Battling away. So Leone. In fact, it's Di Maria in at centre forward. The Italians, great ball movement by the Italians, and the goal is the result.
It's a good play by the Italians. 2 posters doing a lot, keeping her players engaged, also pushing to that space, creating a 2-on-1 for Bianconi to finish there.
So 3-2, the Italians in the lead, just over 2 minutes remaining first term. Hearn gets it into Jakovic.
Lovely feed there by Sienna Hearn.
So the Australians, Halligan. An exclusion.
Smart play there by Danny. Players holding her, shows the ref the hold.
6-on-4, great opportunity here for the Australians. 2 Italians out at the moment. Halligan. In fact, it's Andrews. She walks in and slams the ball into the back of the net. In fact, it was Halligan. Hard to defend, and it's 6-on-4. And Bronte Halligan making the Italians pay, drawing things level 3-all. So Bettini sitting at the top. Drops it across to Giustini. Back to Bettini. This is Leone now. Bettini. Giustini. Bettini gets it into centre. Tremendous goal. All strength.
That's good play there by the perimeter, working the ball on the outside and then a good feed in. In that situation as a centre back, got to take the kick out. But it's a good shot.
And Yazi Cocchieri, it was the captain, scoring the goal. her first of the match. 4-2, 4-3 now, the Italians in the lead. Halligan playing a big role in this match. Pedley just leaves it behind. Back to Halligan again. Andrews to Halligan.
Oh,
And Condorelli does well. Gets the left arm out. Almost snuck it under. Bettini. Giustini sends it back to Bettini. This is Leone. Being pressured there by Hearn from the Australians. Giustini, Bettini. Has the shot herself. Doesn't go to Coglieri. She was being well marked there by Pedley at centre back. So Longman.
give the ball here to Bronte. She's got some space.
Halligan being marked there by Cordovani. Pedley. Andrews dropping it now, comes into centre forward.
That's a fantastic pass there by Bronte Halligan. She was calling for it early. Finally got there, and then Danny's held the space for a quick and ball's in penalty situation.
So Danny Jakovic it was earning the 5 metre penalty, and Abby Andrews will step up looking for her third. Oh, tremendous save. Giuseppina Condorelli. She's like a wall for the Italians tonight. Morena Leone now being pressured by Hearn. Offloaded to Bettini. Time running out on the clock. And sends the ball into the post. So at a quarter time, it is the Italians leading by 4 goals to 3 here at the Perth High Performance Centre. The second quarter action not far away. And of course, a big thanks to Audmanet for their sponsorship of the Stingers. So 4-3, and Zoe, some nice goals in the opening term.
Yeah, majority of, pretty much all of them, extra man goals. That's a good one by the Italians. You know, as we're saying, defence is out of position, good quick goal. And Abby Andrews, nice finish there. Sienna Green, as I said, on the 3-post, really working her the defenders there.
And the Italians, that one only just snuck through.
All it has to be sometimes.
Yep.
Again, a lovely finish by Abby Andrews there. Quick goal again in the extra before defence can have time to set up. And that's a nice finish. Probably the defender there have the wrong arm up. Ideally, when it's a quick goal, well, when it's coming that way, you put your right arm up to just stop the initial shot, and then you can switch arms.
So 4-3 at the start of the second term. Great to have your company with us. So nice to see a lot of fans here. We've got the Dolphins 50-plus women's water polo team. They're heading up to the World Masters in Singapore, which will take place after the Open competition. Anna Mills, one of the driving forces of that game. Nice to see her here. And also Mark Finnecane. His sister's had a big career in water polo. Mark himself, the first professional Ironman from Western Australia to compete in the Uncle Toby's Ironman Series, a 5-time Open Ironman champion, inducted to the WA Surf Lifesaving Hall of Fame. So plenty of quality athletes here enjoying the spectacle tonight of the Australian Stingers up against Italy in the final match of this Tri-Nation Series. And the Australians trailing by 1 at the start of this second term. Alice Williams. Sent it to Andrews. Back to Williams again.
Exclusion called against the number 6.
Hearn. Back to Williams. Abby Andrews has already scored 2 tonight. Williams. Again, the ball coming off the arm of Condorelli. Tilly Kearns. Quick to react. She calls herself the Puma. Andrews. Williams.
Nice finish there by Sienna Hearn.
Tremendous shot by Sienna Hearn. Threading the needle and finding the back of the net.
Very good by Sienna Hearn there, just being calm and composed. Probably left it a little bit too late, but it was a fantastic finish in the end.
Yeah, she was under pressure, the Italian defender. If she had got the other arm up,
Yeah.
she was just one stroke out. But draws things level, 4-all. Bettini. Halligan applying pressure there on Justini at the top. Andrews doing the same to Bianconi. Mijato, Milo, back to Mijato. Milo. Mijato. Tilly Kearns gets the arm in the way.
And Charlie's Andrews kicked out there in centre back.
So 6-on-5. Opportunity here for the Italians. All tied up at the moment on the scoreboard. 4-all.
Good block there by Alice Williams.
The Italians continuing to defend.
And a turnover.
It's an offensive foul. Australians come away with it. It was a nice shot. Unfortunately, though, for the Italians, no result coming from it as Halligan brings it away once again for the Australians. Kearns fighting hard to get herself into position. Hearn back to Williams. Halligan again. Lee Kearns in there battling with Bianconi. Now it comes into Kearns. Can she get the arm free? No, she can't. Sienna Green almost picks it up as well.
Probably just a little bit crowded in that centre space again, which allowed the defender to come across and steal the ball.
So Sophia Giustini for the Italians. Looking for some sport, finds it in the form of Bianconi. Now it comes into centre forward, ball comes loose, so picked up by Sienna Hearn. And now into the safe hands of Genevieve Longman, the Australian goalkeeper.
Aussies have a 6-on-5 here.
Hearn in some clear space. Williams running the decoy, the defence. Halligan across to Andrews. Now they've got the official 6-on-5.
Bianconi kicked out there.
Halligan. Andrews. Back to Halligan. Now with Hearn, off the hand, shoots quickly.
I think the Italians there played quite a good defence. You know, they pressed up a little, also took up a bit of space, made it hard to get that accurate pass for the Aussies.
So Chiara Rinaldi now for the Italians. Battle going on there in centre forward. Coquiari up against Halligan. This is Rinaldi back to Bettini. Now it comes into Coquiari. Can she get her arms free? They swarm on her.
It's a good pass in there from the Italians.
And timeouts by the Italian team.
And an exclusion on Bronte Halligan. So it will be a 6-on-5 opportunity here for the Italians. And they call the first timeout. Their coach Carlo Filippo taking advantage of the opportunity, trying to break this deadlock. 4-all here in game 2, game 3 I should say, of this Tri-Nation series. Abby Andrews with 2, Sienna Hearn with 1, and Genevieve, in fact Abby Andrews and Sienna Hearn both picked up goals. We'll try and find the 4th goal scorer.
Bronte
Halligan. And then for the Italians, just singles to Giustini, Bianconi, Coquiari and Mijato. So 4-all is the score. The timeout has been called by the Italians. Can they convert the 6-on-5 opportunity? So Tanil Fasala. In fact, it is Sienna Green in at centre back. Milo.
So Italians playing a 3-on-3 here. 3-3, I should be more exact.
Chair goal, Bettini. Rinaldi. This ball's been stolen. Williams comes away with it.
Very good defence by the Aussies there, putting pressure on, forcing a bad pass. Not sure what the Italians were trying to do there.
Yes, overcomplicating things. So Olivia Mitchell comes away with it for the Australians. 4.5 minutes remaining, second term. Andrews. Back to Mitchell. Andrews again. And just as the clock signals the end of the time, a beautiful shot. Olivia Mitchell it was. And we'll pick it up on the replay as the clock was counting down. Beautiful touch and timing.
That's a smart shot. Ball's come long, a long cross pass. Goalie's jumped across, probably thinking it's going to be a hard shot down the line. She's held just for a second and thrown a nice lob to the other corner.
And a shout out to Sharon Wheelock, one of the great lobbers of her time. That was her complete arsenal of shots. But they can be effective. As we saw then, Olivia Mitchell, perfect placement as the Italians now back in possession. They move the ball so quickly. Bettini.
Good save there by Jen.
Yeah, Longman solid in goals. Williams being pressed by Milo.
Aussies need Alice needs an outlet pass there, so players should be working towards the player just to help get a pass away.
Williams. Rinaldi comes across. This is Andrews now. Gives it to Williams. Shot clock runs out, so the turnover. The Italians come away with it. 5-4 Australia in the lead.
Turns now with a 3-on-2.
This is Bettini now for the Italians. Good cover from Mitchell.
Smart play there by Mitchell.
Read it well. This is Milo. Now up to Chargol. Fighting hard in at centre forward. The two number 12s. Gagliardi up against Jakovic. Australians come away with it.
Centre forward there wasn't really ready. The ball was facing the centre back. Probably needed to wait a second for that pass to come in so she could front up.
Abby Andrews. In that northern side of the pool. Jakovic tries to drive in. Abby Andrews says, "Don't worry, I'll do it all myself." And she winds up and picks up her third. Just saw the defence open up.
Good work by Abby, picking it up early, allowing her time to balk in, and a nice, beautiful cross-cage bounce shot.
Abby Andrews there scoring her third goal of the game, score now 6 goals to 4.
So Abby Andrews just seeing the opportunity and taking it. And the Australians move to a 6-4 lead, up by 2, the biggest margin in the match so far. Italians again, this fast ball movement. Chair goal across to Milo. Back to chair goal. So the turnover. Williams comes away with it for the Australians.
Australians doing a good job here, getting quickly up the field, allows them more time to set up an attack.
Throws it in. She was looking for Fasala. Couldn't quite get there though. The idea was good. So a chance again now to counter-attack this game being played at breakneck pace. Milo to Chergol. Sends it across to Bianconi. Back to Chergol. Milo. Chergol. She has the shot. Just sends it over the crossbar.
Good play there. Good defence by the Aussies there, forcing the shot from the weaker side. That's where you want the shot.
Olivia Mitchell now for the Australians. Fasala in at centre forward. Chergol at centre back. Williams, the bounce off the crossbar and in. Alice Williams continuing her good form.
The lead up to this play was really good. If you see, Chucky does a nice drive. The shot there is good, but before that, Chucky actually does a very good drive, drawing the defence, allowing space for Alice to also move in. And a nice finish there by Alice.
After a 4-goal game last night, Alice Williams scoring her first goal, score now 7 goals to 4.
So Chergol gets things back underway for the Italians. Halligan applying all sorts of pressure there on Rinaldi. Chergol with it, back to Rinaldi. Chergol just drops it over for Sala. So 6-on-5 opportunity here. Ballasty it was that's been excluded. Rinaldi, Milo, Chergol.
Good defence there by the Aussies coming into big arms.
Tanil Fasala was blocking that shot. Started playing the Brisbane Barracudas as an 11-year-old. The daughter of Mean Machine member Greg Fasala, who won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in 82 and a silver in 84 at the Olympics. So plenty of pedigree there. Andrews tries to get it in.
Yeah, nice pass in there from Andrews.
To Fasala, so an exclusion. Veronica Gant. So 6-on-5. Williams, Ballasty.
Probably the one more pass down to the position 1 there to Bronte.
Williams balking off the wood again.
It's not a bad shot, but again, there's a 3-on-2 on that right-handed side. Alice just does a long pass down to Bronte. There's no defender in front of her. Quick shot off the hand. Goal.
And the Italians happy to run the clock down. So at half time here, it was a dominant quarter by the Australians, and they are leading 7 goals to 4 in this Tri-Nations clap. It is half time. We'll be back with all the action of the second half right after this. To Australia?
To Italy, I think.
So welcome back to the second half here at the
To
Perth
Australia.
High Performance Centre. 7-4 is the score. It was a 3-goal domination by the Australians in this quarter.
You know, Hearn scoring a lovely goal there. Nice quick extra man.
And then Alice Williams.
No, that was
In fact, that was Olivia Mitchell. Just a beautiful, deft lob by her.
And Abby with her third there. Good, calm, composed, and a clinical finish.
And then Alice Williams slamming that one in from downtown. You see it again on the replay, the bounce shot. Hard for Condorelli. She's been good in goals, but that one was too good for her. And just in the water, as you can see in the background, it is the Australian artistic swimmers have been putting on demonstrations here throughout this tournament. They'll also be heading up to Singapore as part of that World Aquatics Championships. And the Australian representatives just putting on a nice display here for the crowds during the break. But with the water polo action, the Italian coach, what would they be saying? Zoe trailing by 7-4 at half-time.
I think probably a bit about their extra man. They've only scored 50% of them, so they've had 6 extras, scored 3. One of them, their timeout move, probably, don't know what they were trying to do. Unfortunately, it was a poor pass, or probably you could say good defense by the Aussies. But yeah, I think they're forcing a little bit too much into centre forward, and probably need to take it a few more shots from the outside, I think, and maybe even a couple of early shots, just to get, catch the Aussies off guard potentially. But otherwise, I think they're doing all right. Some of the passes in have been good, but I think sometimes they're just forcing a bit too much.
And Beck Rippon, the Australian coach, you've obviously had plenty of games under her. What's she like at half time? Is she cool? Is she calm? Does she get? Is she angry? Is she pleasant?
She keeps it pretty, even temp. Like, she just gets on. Like, it's like, this is what we need to work on, and we're doing well. Keep fighting. Yeah, she's pretty cool, calm, collected, I would say, and she's always smiling, which also helps. I don't think I've seen her too angry. I don't think I've seen her angry too often, but when she smiles, it sort of, calms you down a bit, that's for sure, especially in the heat of the moment if things aren't going, because the Aussies, again, same sort of thing. They've only scored 4 from 8 of their extra man, so they're probably looking to improve that. You want to be over 50%, but definitely in the first quarter they were converting well, but that second quarter, probably a few missed opportunities. But they're actually, I think the Aussies are doing quite well. Probably a bit slow to begin with, but she probably keep telling them to keep grinding it out, just keep putting the pressure on. You don't want them to get back into the game, so let's just keep applying that pressure and keep doing what we do.
So the Italian coach there working his charges. So a change of goalkeepers for the Australian. Gabby Palm will be guarding the cage for the second half. Genevieve Longman doing a great job. Gabby Palm gets her chance for the second half. The Australians are set there, ready for a start. The Italians just still getting some final instructions off their coach, Carlo Filippo.
I think it's Bianconi actually giving the instructions over there quite passionately.
And Charlize Andrews there, plenty of smiles on the Australians' faces.
Yeah, no, they're, good. You'd rather be 7-4 in front than behind.
And Giuseppina Condorelli, she will remain in goals for the Italians. So it will be Charlize Andrews swimming for the Australians, up against Alessia Milo for the Italians, and it's pretty tight, but Andrews comes away with it. So Williams, it will be now for the Australians. And Sienna Green, she drives in. Tilly Kearns there as well.
Tilly Kearns doing a wonderful job keeping the defender out on 4 metres there, hoping for an inside ball down from Abby.
So Andrews, Halligan, now Kearns gets those legs working, battling hard in at centre forward. Brings her head up for air, Halligan, Andrews.
Probably down the line there. Yep.
Andrews takes the shot, Kearns looks for the rebound, gets it, has the shot, almost. Nice reflexes there by Giuseppina Condorelli, the goalkeeper for the Italians. Kearns fighting hard, doing well. The second effort from Tilly Kearns. So this is Milo for the Italians. To Bianconi.
Charlize Andrews in centre back, they're doing a good job fronting, allowing the Aussie defence on the perimeter to press in front, to press.
So the ball comes in, but Andrews does well, denying the Italians. Cacchiari it was, the captain of Italy, Halligan now.
And Tilly's working hard there, got a bit of space.
Andrews looking for some support, finds it in the form of Halligan. Back to Andrews again.
Great second effort there by Tilly Kearns, earning the exclusion. You could say it's a great pass from Chucky.
Andrews back to Halligan. Williams. Kearns still in at centre forward, trying to get some space, trying to get away from a centre back, almost dragging her with her. Majato it is on the end of the Tilly Kearns grip. Tilly Kearns, a famous name in Australian sport, and mother Julie, a wonderful tennis player and jigsaw puzzle solver. Was Milo for the Italians. A loose pass picked up by Rinaldi. Wasting precious time though for the Italians. This is Bianconi.
Sienna Green just kicked out there, having her hands down.
So 6 on 5, loose pass by Majato.
Perfect for the Aussies, allows them time to set up.
That shot clock just keeps ticking. Bianconi has the shot. Williams gets the mid in the way. Kearns comes away with it for the Australians.
Probably not the shot there, under a bit of pressure. Probably one more pass and see what happens.
So Djakovic in possession to Williams. Kearns battling hard against Majato. Halligan winds up and unleashes and puts the Australians further in front. 8 goals to 4 now. Halligan picks up her second.
Nice shot there. As you can see, the defender in front of her is actually not covering down the line. Bronte just steps into that space and throws a beautiful bounce shot down the line.
So Australians out by 8-4.
Bronte Halligan there scoring her second goal of the game. The score is now 8 goals to 4.
So Bettini for Italy, being pressured by Williams. Bianconi. Back to Bettini. Bettini, Bianconi. Cortovani gets it into centre forward. They converge on her. She fights hard. The big dive over the top.
Interesting call. But I would say that's just because the centre forward hasn't let go of the ball. Centre forward lets go of that ball. It's a penalty every day of the week.
Yeah, Gagliardi it was. Just needed to let it go, but didn't. The big body slam by the Australian. Williams. Halligan now crawling her way in. Andrews. Back to Halligan. Andrews, the left-hander, offloading. Pedley. Charlize Andrews, not much of an angle for her. Puts it into the woodwork. Brodie Halligan retrieves for the Australians. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Still time. Williams.
Yeah, plenty of time. And a kick it. Danny's out the kick out.
Djakovic pops it back to Andrews. Williams, Halligan. Djakovic trying to get some space. Andrews sitting at the top. Williams tries to thread the needle. The block is good by Bianconi.
Good shot there.
So Roberto Bianconi picking up the rebound. Hands it back to Giuseppina Condorelli, now the goalkeeper.
Probably in that situation in the extra man attack, quick switch up the top with Alice and Abby so you don't have your left-hander on the right-hander side of the pool. You know.
So Bettini now up to Gant. Drops it across to Bianconi again. Gant with it. Being pressed there by Djakovic. Ball gets dumped by Veronica Gant. Good defence by the Australians. There's Bronnie Halligan. Makes her way back towards the Italian goal. Andrews with it. Sends it across to Charlize. Andrews has the bounce shot.
That's a really good pass there by Abby Andrews. Chucky probably could have just shot off the hand there. Just one ball, probably too many.
Bettini for Italy. Trailing by 4. Needing to score to get themselves back in this game. This could be the opportunity for them. Pippa Pedley being excluded. Italians 6 on 5. Game starting to get away from the Cordovani. Sends it back to Bianconi. Bettini.
Good.
Ball will be picked up by Cordovani. Bianconi gets it in to centre forward. Another exclusion. So another 6 on 5 opportunity here for the Italians. Gaia Gagliardi, it is in at centre forward. Bettini Leone in there as well. Roberta Bianconi with the ball. Looking for something, finding the back of the net. It's the goal the Italians needed. Takes them to 8-5. Had a couple of chances, a couple of 6-on-5s in a row, and eventually able to convert.
Nice shot there by Bianconi. On her legs, just balks a few times. No one's hitting her. Probably, after we sort of have a bit of a rule in the water, water polo, more than 2 balks, you got to knock them down.
So the Australians letting her balk too many times. And the goal was the result, so 8-5. 2 minutes remaining in the third term. Halligan sits up at the top to Mitchell. It's Abby Andrews trying to find an angle. Mitchell. Halligan gets it in to centre forward. Super goal by the Puma. Tilly Kearns. Too strong.
Lovely turn in from Tilly Kearns there, but good work on the perimeter again. Holding the ball, drawing their players, and a good pass in by Bronte Halligan. But yeah, lovely finish by Tilly Kearns. Working really hard in there.
So Kearns with plenty of work to do. And scoring the goal that puts the Australians back out by 4. Maintaining that buffer. 9-5 is the score. Italians quick to get it into centre forward.
And a good crash by Sienna Hearn there.
Cocchietti, the captain, unable to come away with the ball. And the Australians find themselves back on the attack again. Bronte Halligan having a storming game tonight here in Perth. Game 3 of this Tri-Nation series in the lead up to the World Championships in Singapore. Halligan sneaks one through, but well saved there by Condorelli.
Probably hoping for her to bounce it probably just a little bit further out so she gets that angle.
Giustini. It's a Bettini. Being pressed there by Hearn. Back to Giustini. A 6-on-5 opportunity here for the Italians. Giustini with it. Bettini. Across to Leone. Bettini just throws it over the top of Leone, fights back for it. Hit the corner. So the 2 metre for the Italians. Another chance for them to attack the Australian goal. Chiara Ranali swims in, tries to improve the angle.
Probably not the shot up, probably right option there. Probably should have just passed it off early and then swam into position.
I think your reaction was a lot calmer than the Italian coaches. So Hearn across to Mitchell. Abby Andrews. Kearns.
It's a good turn in then by Tilly Kearns, but the Italian defenders there, there's actually people back. They should be stealing that.
So the 5 metre penalty awarded for the Australians. Not the result of Tilly Kearns' hard work in there at centre forward, and Alice Williams it will be.
Referee telling the players they need to be a bit wider.
And Williams makes no mistake. Takes the Australians out to 10-5. She picks up her second for the night. And once again, the Italians, as we said on the replay here, Williams rifling that ball. And with time almost up, in fact, that will be time up. So at 3/4 time here at the Perth High Performance Centre, Game 3 of the Tri-Nation Series. It is Australia 10, leading Italy 5. All the action of the final quarter not far away. So final quarter about to get underway here at the Perth High Performance Centre. The Australians starting to take control off the back of another solid quarter.
Halligan there stepping into the space and taking a shot. Yeah, being Coney, balking for too long there. Probably Danny just needed to cross it earlier.
So the goal the Italians needed as the Australians just started to creep away, but they fought back with a tremendous goal by Tilly Kearns.
Yeah, lovely turn in.
To increase that 4-goal buffer again.
And it's a great pass by Monty Halligan too. Right to her hand, easy turn.
And then Alice Williams with the penalty, rifling it past the outstretched left arm of Condorelli.
Very nice. Alice is a very nice penalty taker. Really has a nice long wind up, allows her time, so when the goalie sort of jumps and then falls, allows her then to just place it in that top corner.
So just 1 quarter remaining in this inaugural Tri-Nations tournament. It has been a good one in the lead up to the World Championships in Singapore. Again, a shout out to everyone that is tuning in right around the world. Shout out to the Lego family, big supporters of Dolphins water polo here in Western Australia. The 2 boys, Sam and Ollie, and the daughter Sophia, all big members, terrific junior players at school and at the Dolphins Club, enjoying this Tri-Nation series. The mother has tremendous hair and enjoying all the water polo it has to offer. And here at the High Performance Centre, we've got 1 more quarter. And the question is, Zoe, do you think the Italians can get themselves back into this game?
I don't think so. I just, from what we've seen so far over the last 3 quarters, hasn't been much in their attack, and they're also, I think there's been last quarter, a lot of turnovers, so they need to clean that up a little bit, and a bit more movement in their attack as well.
So they need to score to give themselves any sort of chance. They need to score first, and they need to score early. 1 quarter remaining, trailing by 5.
The defence will also need to change, probably play a bit more of a press and a front.
So the ball getting in to centre forward.
It's a good start to the quarter to get in a kick out.
Ballasty, the one out. Coglieri it was, earning it. The shot coming there from Leone, bouncing it over the goals. They'll continue with possession. Rinaldi now for the Italians. Bianconi, long ball across. Leone already had 1 shot. Bettini, back to Leone, trying to find a gap.
Hard shot from that angle, or that position.
Giustini it was, taking the shot. And Leone doing away with the power and using all the touch that she's got. A valuable goal for the Italians. They need to try and string a few together to get themselves back into this game.
It's a hard shot, but like a lob from that side as a right-hander is it's very hard. So she's done a very good job there.
So Marina Leone, 10-6 the score. Australians though back on the attack through Andrews. Fasala and Kearns. Williams with it. Andrews. Fasala's in there at centre forward.
Doing a good job, earning the exclusion.
And Abby Andrews says, I'll do it myself. Picks up her 4th for the night.
Again, another nice quick extra man goal. And Abby stepping into that space and taking it on short corner. Yeah.
So Tanil Fasala doing a great job, but Andrews was the recipient.
Yeah, no defenders in front of her, just steps into the space and takes it on.
So it looks like Tilly Kearns just been giving a spell. She's lost a cap again. The mother needs to give her some cap tying lessons. She lost it again last night against the Americans.
Pretty hard when someone's ripping your head up though.
Double knots, Tilly. Great to see the Puma in action here in Perth. One of the crowd favourites as the Italians Again, facing a 5-goal deficit that they're trying to reduce. And that's the way to do it. Roberta Bianconi picks up her second. She's been very good for the Italians tonight and responds in the best possible way to Abby Andrews' goal. 11-7.
Good quick movement there by the good ball. And just sits well on her legs and shoots a lovely hits the crossbar down, shot, goal. The Aussies here probably don't want to get into a bit of a trade here. You don't want to go goal for goal. I mean, they are in front, but ideally you want to control it a bit more and you're not allowed them to get a sniff.
So Halligan. Andrews with it. She was the 2019 Collegiate Water Polo Association Rookie of the Year. She was at the University of Michigan. Williams. Halligan, back to Andrews. Andrews with it. Pressure being applied by Rinaldi. Ponderelli does well.
Defence there by the Italians was quite good. Good movement in and out, piston zone, really forcing the Aussie shooters under pressure, to shoot under pressure, sorry.
Chair goal drops it across to Leone, being pressured by Williams. Bianconi sitting at the top. No one in at centre forward. Jakovic doing a great job denying the Italians space and time. Bettini has the shot herself. Amounts to nothing. Score remains 11-7.
He's probably trying to throw the goalie off the other way. Really winding up and trying to throw an off-pace shot, but fortunately didn't quite get to the corner.
Sienna Hearn. Plays for the Balmain Tigers in the National League. Ball comes into Jakovic. They swarm all over her. Bianconi it was. Coming across in defence.
Italians have kicked it up here quite a bit, up a notch. The defence is looking a little bit more better, a little bit more pressure on the Aussies.
Leone to Bettini, the big backhand. Gaia Gagliardi, tremendous goal from the centre forward. The ball came in quickly. She wasted no time and found the back of the net. We'll pick it up here on the replay.
Yeah, this is a good little play, waiting till the defence is ready. Centre backs, not prepared. Lovely backhand, like textbook backhand.
Gagliardi it was. 11-8 the score. The Italians clawing back that 5-goal lead, now reduced to 3. They've got a spring in their step, the Italians.
They definitely do. Aussies here, as I said earlier, just want to control the play. All your 30 doesn't mean don't take any shots, but just slow it down a bit.
Heavy press defence by the Italians.
Not the best pass in, a bit too far.
They swarm back in the hands of Ponderelli now for the Italians. Chair goal. It drops to Leone. Leone heads in towards goal. Can she go all the way? She's fighting hard. And she earns the 5 metre. You could see it coming. As she drove in, and it's very hard when you get within a certain distance. It's going to be Chiari Rinaldi, and she reduces the deficit to just 2. The Italians on their way back here in game 3. Chiara Rinaldi, the beneficiary of a good drive there by Morena Leone. 11-9. Game on here.
Yeah, still plenty of time for the Italian. Only 2 goals in it, 4 minutes left, still plenty of time.
So momentum certainly with the Italians. The Australians need to try and put a stop to it. Halligan, Andrews. Halligan again. Charlize Andrews sits at the top. Halligan, arms up by the Italians. The Australians trying to move the ball around, trying to find some space. They have to dump it. Defence of the Italians markedly improved in this final quarter.
Not the greatest attack by those, but at least, like, even though they've dumped it, it's allowed them to all come back and attack. There's no counter-attacks. It is not the, ideally you want a shot away, but it's probably the next best option. Allows them to cover up in defence and stops their talents. They're getting on a bit of a roll with that counter-attack.
So a timeout called. 11-9 is the score.
Interesting time to call a timeout. I think it's probably one of the hardest things as a coach. I would say is your timeouts. You only get two in a game, and it's when do you take them? Because as we said, I think there's only 4 minutes left. He's now used his last timeout. Get an extra man later. You're even. Can't call it. So there's definitely an art to it.
And you kind of wonder, they had such good momentum.
Yeah.
Will that break it? Does that give the Australians a chance to regather and compose themselves? So
exactly.
We'll wait and see whether it was a smart move or not by Carlo Filippo. The Italians on the attack, trailing by 2. Bianconi to Bettini. Giustini has been stolen by Halligan. She does well. So nothing coming of that timeout by the Italians. The Australians now back in possession, leading by 2. 3 minutes 20 remaining in the match and the tournament. Abby Andrews with it.
So no, Aussies don't have a designated centre forward in at the moment, but Chucky is a good utility player getting in there. Even Sienna Green. Massive arms. Long arms, sorry.
Yeah, very tall girl, Sienna Green. Long limbs.
Perfect for centre back.
So the attack by the Australians amounting to nothing. So the Italians still within 2. Leone to Bianconi to Bettini. Giustini now at the top. Bettini gets it into centre forward, pops it out cleverly.
Out.
And Leone, the soft touch of Morena Leone, gets back to within 1.
That was good play by the Italians. They're really capitalising on that opportunity. The Australians, I think, probably allowing too many of those cross passes. They're actually not, coming off a player and allowing that cross pass. Puts the centre back in a hard position, and it puts the centre forward in a good position, and it allows that easy ball in. And then as everyone's crashing, it's a great flick out by the centre forward to that right hand catch, and just a nice little lob because goalkeepers come across to save short, and goalie's arms are out. Correct shot.
So it's been a 5-1 final quarter by the Italians. 10-5 was the score at 3/4 time. It is now 11-10. The Australians just hanging on.
Yeah.
Needing to try and break this momentum. The Italians coming home strong. Can the Australians hold on? So here we go. Halligan to Hearn. Back to Halligan. Kearns in at centre forward. Halligan to Andrews. Kearns fighting hard up against Veronica Gant. Now it comes into Kearns. Gant gets excluded. She doesn't agree with it.
They never do.
Referee's never going to change his mind. So a 6-on-5 opportunity here for the Australians. Andrews, Halligan. Looks like a double. It says it's going to be 6-on-4 chance here for the Australians. Halligan to Hearn. Hearn spots the opening and scores the goal that puts the Australians back out by 2 and just stems that flow of goals by the Italians.
Yeah, that was good work by Tilly there. I think she had both exclusions there, working hard on the post, and a lovely finish there by Sienna. Blocker's arms are up and takes the low bounce shot.
So a little bit of breathing space for the Australians. Now out by 2, 12-10. Here's the score. Just under 2 minutes remaining. This is Giustini. Now for the Italians to Bettini. Back to Giustini again. Bettini with it, being pressured by Andrews. Chair goal. To Giustini. Mitchell applying the pressure to the number 7 from the Italians. And the turnover.
Centre forward ducking under.
Not what the Italians needed. With 1 minute 34 remaining on the clock, they need every possession they can get.
And ideally, Aussies here, just hold it, use it all, and play it late to centre forward with like 2 seconds left.
Abby Andrews. Halligan. So ball stolen there by Leone. Italians come away with it. 1:10 left on the clock. 2 goals the difference. Morena Leone on the northern side.
Italians probably want to have a quick goal here, so they've got time to get another way.
Can they force this to a penalty shootout?
Ooh.
Almost. Agnazi Coccaieri looking for that ball, and that may be the ball game. Halligan now. Australians in control. 40 seconds,
Yep,
47 left.
Just need to play it out. Don't need another goal here, just use it all.
Abby Andrews, Mitchell. Long ball across. This is Green. Sienna Green pops it into centre forward, and they swarm on top of Tilly Kearns. Andrews, Charlize Andrews this time. Green, Halligan. In fact, that is Abby Andrews. Mitchell puts it off the crossbar.
Bronte leading the way there, saying just play it out, use it all.
So Halligan to Andrews. 8 seconds left.
Yeah,
Abby Andrews, Charlize Andrews. Now it comes into centre forward. But that will be it. Sienna Green unable to increase the score. But the Australians, they've done enough. Running out victors over the Italians in the final match of this Tri-Nation Series by 12 goals to 10. As we mentioned, it was 10-5 at half-time. The Italians had a tremendous fight back in the final quarter, but Zoe, in the end, the Australians able to hang on.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably a little bit in that fourth quarter, the Italians got on a momentum, but the Aussie girls able to just maintain it, especially that last 2 minutes, really doing well just to control the ball.
So the Australians going through this Tri-Nation Series undefeated, defeating the Italians by 12-10 tonight, the Americans 12-11 last night. But the Italians, you've got to give them credit, that was a great fight back.
Oh, absolutely. Considering, but if they'd played like how they did in the last quarter for the entire game, probably different ball game. But teams feel like that. You get on a roll, and it's kind of hard to stop sometimes. So again, interesting with the timeout. Probably wasn't warranted maybe at that point, but you don't know. So, but again, the Aussies did a good job hanging on. Probably were rushing it, a little bit of pressure got to them, but that's experience, and they'll learn from this. And
for the Italians, plenty to take out of that match tonight, going to those World Championships.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for them, probably a lot of turnovers for them, so probably need to clean that up, going into a World Champs, given the way that it's now refereed. But their extra man, they took it on. Their conversion wasn't too bad. And they're taking it, they do some really fantastic passes into the centre forward.
So plenty of spirit between these two teams. Lots of respect between the players.
The Aussies and the Italians will be playing each other at the World Champs. I think second game for the World Champs. So will be an interesting to see how they go at the World Champs, and with a little bit more pressure. It's in a tournament. Obviously there's, you want to perform everywhere, but. Going into a World Champs just a little bit different, it's a world event, and ideally Australia, both teams want to end up on top, so they get an easier crossover.
And would both of these sides, would they have kept something secret, or have they revealed their whole hand in these games in this tournament?
Well, ideally, because they've had the beauty of having America out here, a third team out here. The Aussies probably could practice against the other team. Same with the Italians, so you don't actually show your hand to the team you're playing. I don't think they would have shown too much, to be honest. You want to make sure you keep a few things under your belt, so when you go there, they don't know how to play against it. Because obviously everyone also videos these sessions too, so they'd be watching taking a lot from these.
And plenty of great goals in this final quarter.
Absolutely, and Abby Andrews stepping up there, lovely finish. Being Coney, being a very experienced player, really stepping up for the Italians there.
So it was a big final quarter by the Italians, as we see some of their 5 goals that they did score. That big backhand was a cracking shot by Gaia Gagliardi. It was.
Nice penalty there.
Chiara Rinaldi scoring the goal for the Italians.
Lovely little finish. That shot, wind it up and then able just to hold on for that split second and just lob it over the top.
They certainly got themselves on a roll, and then that's 6 on 4.
Yeah, correct shot there by Sienna Hearn. Goalkeeper's got both arms up, probably trying to time it when the ball left the Sienna Hearn's hands, but it's a bit too slow. I'm not a goalie, but I would probably prefer, if I was the goalie, I'd probably have my hands a bit lower.
So 12-10 it was the final score. The Australians in a huddle, giving some words of wisdom. So in these post-match, is it mainly the players that drive these, or is it Beck Grip on the coach? Beck Grip leads it. A few players will chime in as well. Not too many, because you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen. But she'd be probably saying, it was good to get the win. Probably a few things they need to work on, maybe extra man conversion, and probably in that last quarter allowing them to get on that run. You probably wanted to control that just a bit more. But overall, I think, to come away with 2 wins, they've done their job. They've done really well. They've had a good week as well of training. So now they're probably, before heading to the World Champs, probably have a little bit of a rest, hopefully. And they all look like they're in good spirits, as they should be. Plenty of smiles from the Australian team. How important is it for a side, and these 3 teams have had it, to have that week of solid training and games before a major championship? It's crucial. You want a good hit out before the World Champs. You don't want to go into any sort of major tournament without having some sort of gameplay. You can do all the training like drills and all that, but gameplay is really crucial, especially at this level. And as I said, for the Aussies to be able to have America and Italy come out, what a fantastic opportunity, especially at the start of the cycle. And the Aussie Stingers should take a lot of confidence out of this going into the World Champs. They've been actually playing some good water polo. A few little improvements they need to make, but that's being nitpicky. But no, they should be pretty proud. They should be ecstatic about how they've been. They've 2 wins. What a good job. And who has impressed you the most in the Australians in these last 2 matches? I've actually think the team has actually played pretty solidly today. I think Abby Andrews did a fantastic job, and really took it on. Taking those early shots. They're not easy to do, and sometimes you think, oh, should I hold it? But she did a fantastic job, and I think Charlie's Andrews doing a fantastic job too. But for now, let's get. Sorry about that. So for the Italians, I think what they need to work on, as I said, probably too many turnovers, which cost them at crucial times. Need to clean that up a little bit. The extra man actually was good. Probably need to take a few more shots on the outside in regular attack. And I think in their defense as well, probably need to change things up sooner than later, but overall very good. But for now, let's get some reaction from with Sienna Hearn with Mick Collis.
He was one of the stars of the Australian Stingers, Sienna Hearn. Sienna, it looked like you were home easy, but they made you fight for it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough one. We kind of let them back into the game, which is something we'll go and reflect on and hopefully learn from going into World Champs, because come closer games, we need to make sure that we keep our lead.
Because what let them back into that game?
Yeah, I think led from our attack, we just weren't executing our goals, which were kind of putting pressure on us in defence. So missed blocks, things like that, because we weren't there. So I think we need to focus on that.
And you've had 2 tough games. What have you taken out of this tournament leading into Singapore?
I think it's been perfect prep for us to play USA and Italy, really good competitions for us. It's awesome to see all the girls, new girls into the team who are kind of stepping in and having a crack. It's really good to see, and we're playing true stinger style of water polo, which is kind of what we want to put on show. And
have you enjoyed your time here in Perth?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, we always love coming to Perth. We get to stay on the beach. The weather's been pretty good, so it's always fun.
And looking forward to Singapore?
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's going to be hot, so it's a bit of a switch up, but I am excited. I think it's so exciting for us girls to be back on an international competition.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations. 2 good wins. All the very best in Singapore.
Thank you so much.
So that was Sienna Hearn, one of the Australian stars. That does conclude our broadcast here. It was the final game of the Tri-Nation Series. Australia winning both their matches 12-11 last night against the USA, and the Italians pushing them all the way, but getting up by 12 points to 10 here tonight. My name is Mick Collis on behalf of Zoe Arancini and all the crew. Thanks very much for joining in, but for now, it is good night from Perth.